Well, good morning, good day. Welcome in on a beautiful Wednesday to the quartering. Apparently, it's basically like a daily radio show at this point. We've got a lot to cover today, but I'm going to just pack it into two videos. A lot to cover around Mortal Kombat, and much of its SJW nuggets are poking through. And as I was yesterday, I want to be very clear. Mortal Kombat 11 does have technical issues. Overall, the game is pretty dang good. I would say, based on the people that watch my videos and have responded to me directly, they are really enjoying the game. And as I've always said, please understand, I'm just covering the news. If you enjoy a game, you win. Okay? You win every time. The game can have the most ridiculous narrative stuff in it or whatever. If you bought that game and you are having fun, you are winning, okay? So if you enjoy Mortal Kombat, you don't care about this stuff, this isn't a shot at you. This is just me covering some of the stuff going on. So game on, my friends. Danish, the designer and animator at NetherRealm Studios, has confirmed that they have banned the OK symbol from the game because of Manazis. That's correct. And you might be saying, dude, for real? Or are you just stretching it? No, he literally said that. Any reason why Johnny Cage's got him was changed to the middle finger seems odd. There you go. He literally said why. Now, that's just an awkward moment. Pretty dumb reason to change it. No one believes that. Imagine that. First Overwatch, now Mortal Kombat. Again, here we go. If I were to restate it, I would make it more clear that I really had a problem with the headline making it seem like MK fans were racist. The better headline is this one. People are upset that things that don't actually happen in Mortal Kombat. Now, you can see where this person's mind is at. You can see everything they tweet and they retweet. They obviously lean hard left. And I just don't understand. It wouldn't be a problem if they just didn't put it in there, right? But to go back and then publicly admit that you're buying into a 4chan meme and removing something from a video game is worse than never having it in there. Probably worse than if the morons at like Kotaku and Polygon were to write articles about it, because literally nobody cares. And that's kind of the point. Like, we point and laugh. That's what my videos are here to entertain, bring people a little break from their work days, have a little fun. Most people that play the game, they don't care about this stuff. They don't notice this stuff. NetherRealm changed Johnny Cage OK hand sign in MK11. Yes, that is correct. NetherRealm is on a woke tour. They're basically, and this is courtesy of OneAngryGamer.net, but people had also sent me this guy's tweet last night. They're basically doing and saying everything that SJWs could ever want to hear from a company willing to lay politically prostrate in front of their altar of third wave feminism. They've renounced the spicy female designs, as we know that, and we know that to be a double standard, as they allow men to, of course, be shirtless and everything like that, but the women are obviously fully covered. According to Said, they modified the gesture to a middle finger, which they felt was more appropriate because the OK hand symbol was associated with people that don't exist on the planet anymore. The new gesture is slightly modified, where instead of making the OK hand sign down by his left side when the camera tilts to his belt, he now has the OK hand sign partially done, but instead of the hand gesture turned around, now he's giving the middle finger to the viewers. Because in the mind of NetherRealm Studio and other socially abnormal individuals, the middle finger is less offensive than the OK hand gesture. I mean, it's so sad that you have a litany of bugs going on with your game, and this is what you're worried about. That's what you're worried about. Blizzard Entertainment recently banned the OK symbol from being displayed either by players or audience members at Overwatch League events, which we also covered. This kind of lunacy keeps escalating, with things being banned, censored, or removed to placate the fragile sensibilities of the perpetually offended. Oh, come to think of it, Pepe the Frog was considered a symbol of bad things as well. Therefore, if the frog is turned into a clown with rainbow colors, then it means that rainbow colors are also offensive by proxy. You know, that's what people are having fun with. The clown world meme is, you know, alive and well. And remember when I talked about how Mortal Kombat was getting woke for these type of articles? I told everyone, and many of you, my viewers, knew that this was coming. We all knew that this Jax scene in Mortal Kombat 11 was written specifically for all of these digital backpats, talking about how stunning and brave NetherRealm Studios was. Jax's Mortal Kombat 11 isn't really controversial at all. Oh, okay. A Black Panther inspired, I mean, it's basically a ripoff, ending actually seems widely popular, despite a few exaggerated complaints on YouTube. Exaggerated? I mean, I don't have a problem with Jax's decision. I have a problem with a Mortal Kombat game worrying about including that in their end story, because we all know why they did it. They did it for all of this. Jax's ending in MK11 is the best and boldest of the game. MK11 is out now, and the risk of lightly spoiling a particular character's story, you owe it to yourself to check out Jax Briggs' individual ending, which does some big things with the fighting game's time manipulation plot device. Even if you don't want to play MK11, but might be interested in what Jax is up to these days, or what people might be talking about both in positive and negative ways, it's worth a minute and change. Warning, the video contains... We already had the video in my previous video, which Warner Brothers struck down. Separate from MK11's main story mode and are endings for each character. These endings can be seen by completing one of the classic towers that are similar to MK's arcade endings, in which a non-canonical denouement for each player plays out. Jax in particular is interesting. Why, you might be saying? After defeating MK11's time-twisting supervillain Chronica, he uses her powerful hourglass to reshape time. What does he do? He rewrites history. Well, we know who likes to do that. Apparently ending the transatlantic slave trade before it had ever had a chance to begin. Which is interesting because if he ends that, then wouldn't it alter his time frame? His timeline? He might not even exist. He might never have become a fighter, but that's neither here nor there. I've been lucky, Jax explains, as he uses Chronica's power to change the past, my family, and I have lived the American dream, but most people who look like me haven't had that chance. Oh, yeah, right. There's a, yeah, President Obama ring a bell to you? I owe it to you to put things right. I'm not waiting centuries for people to get woke. And I've got the power to speed things up. Bizarrely, the reaction to the amazing character ending, in which Jax reshapes the lives of an estimated 12 million people who suffered immeasurably under the practice of slavery, as well as those future generations, has been mixed. On one side, many smart people agree the ending rules. On the other side, some angry racists. That's right. If you don't want... if you even question it, then that's how they will characterize you. Now, here's some interesting questions for Polygon, who thinks that ending this would have automatically created a Wakanda society. I don't think Black Africans are living the dream in Africa right now, are they? I mean, I want to point out that it isn't exactly a utopian society there. The idea that ending that practice would have universally improved everything for every person of color on the planet is absurd, but that's how SJWs think. Now, that isn't to say, obviously, that I support it. I don't support it for black folks. I don't support it for white folks. I don't support it for anybody. No man should or woman should be enslaving any others. But it's funny that they just think, well, if this had just never happened, Wakanda would exist. They would all have flying cars and everything would just be hunky-dory. Of course, you got PC, which stands for politically correct now, PC Gamer. The ending is called controversial, though as far as I can tell, most people think it's pretty cool. You can watch the scene above. It has nothing to do with MK11's campaign and is more in line with short scenes that cap off characters' stories in most fighting game arcade modes like classic MK4, where Jax throws Jarek off a cliff. All of MK11's endings are consistent of a few short static artwork and a short voiceover as characters decide how they'd use power to manipulate time. Unlike a lot of simpler and more frivolous endings, Jax tackles a heavy subject in its short running time and unsurprisingly vague on details. He's pretty much all we get from the voiceover. All we get. Though presumably many attempts to go back in time and kick off exact right sequence events, Jax eliminates slavery and lives happily ever after. It's vague and glosses over time travel paradoxes. All right, there we go. And so on and so forth, but is also a game where Johnny Cage rips someone in half and makes their bleeding torso talk like a puppet. Looking through forum discussions and Reddit threads, I've mostly seen praise for the ending and the occasional complaint that it's a ridiculous thing to get upset about. Some coverage of the ending has highlighted the negative reactions. Okay, again, as I've always said, if you're playing the game and you're having fun, that's all that matters. The black guy character in Mortal Kombat has an ending where he uses time travel to make the slave trade never happen, and the gamers are so angry. Again, I don't think... I mean, are there people out there that are genuinely angry about it? Maybe. I'm not. I think it's funny. I think that the savior complex that a lot of social justice folks have is absurd. Nobody's asking them for their help, and they're doing things that are completely irrelevant. People are upset about things that don't actually happen in Jax's MK11 ending. I don't know. Of course, they'll pick a few extremes. That's why I always try to pick a few articles to read. The story and ending from Jax is frank racism, black power, but yes, we're all blind and we don't see reverse racism, although there's no such thing as reverse. It just is. Imagine if white power would have been done. Many of the accusations would be there against developers and racism. Well, yes, there is an inherent double standard there. Don't really care. Again, my point of view is that if you would have just avoided this, none of this would exist. And there's absolutely people that have decided to not buy Mortal Kombat 11 because of this. There are absolutely people who have decided to not buy Mortal Kombat over them banning the OK hand symbol. So why would you ever want to do that? I talked about this yesterday with developers losing their jobs, and I'm starting to care a lot less because when the development community stands up and says, man, it was worth it. It was so worth it. When the character designer for Mortal Kombat 11 said, you know what, if some people are mad about me covering up the women but not the men, I don't care. Tough cookies. You know, when there's a layoff at NetherRealm Studios or layoffs there, I'm just not going to care anymore because they don't, right? They don't care about maximizing potential sales for their game. They care about pushing a narrative, even at the expense of sales. So when some of these people inevitably get laid off, I'm going to be here to point and laugh at them. I'm over it. I hope you enjoyed this video, though, and we'll talk to you again real soon.